Have you ever wondered how people are buying used cars extremely cheap for Turo? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you step by step on how we source our cars and beat the competition every single time. Hey guys, it's George with Car Rental Coach. If you're looking to boost your Turo profits or to grow a rental car fleet in similar size to ours, make sure to click on that notification bell and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on all things car rental coach related. At carrentalcoach.com, we work with clients every single day to help grow their Turo fleet and also help them build passive income streams. You can go to carrentalcoach.com, fill out a quick 60-second survey, and apply to work with us there. How do we get these great deals on vehicles? Number one, auctions. Our number one piece of advice is find an auction. There are various types of auctions, including online auctions, government auctions, dealer auctions, and public auctions. Look for reputable auction houses or online platforms that specialize in car auctions. Websites like eBay Motors, Coparts, or Manheim are popular options. And make sure you register. Most auctions require registration before you can participate. This may involve providing identification, proof of funds, and paying a registration fee. Inspect the cars before bidding. Inspect the cars you're interested in thoroughly. Check the exterior, interior, engine, tires, and any other relevant components if possible. Take a mechanic with you to assess the vehicle's condition more accurately. So, I've been to hundreds of auctions myself, and I am not a fan of bidding for vehicles online only. Any car that I'm interested, we put them on a run list and we go check them out personally, because in the car industry, people are trying to hide the issues with the vehicles. It's a scummy industry, but a very profitable one. So if you're interested in some vehicles, you can actually go on the website for these auctions beforehand, look at the vehicles you're interested in, and then I suggest getting to the auction a few hours before it starts to go over the vehicle. Take a look at the engine, check the fluids. You can even start the car up in some cases, hear what it sounds like. And if you're not that knowledgeable with vehicles, like I'm not, take a mechanic with you or even a buddy that has experience working with vehicles to go to the auction with you. Either pay him or, hey, just buy him lunch that day, and it will save you a lot of money and headache, because every time we've tried buying cars online without checking them out, there's always something wrong with them. It always catches me off guard, and we spend a lot of money that we could have saved if we simply went to the auction beforehand and checked them out hands-on. So another key is to set a budget. Determine your maximum bid for each car you're interested in. Remember to account for additional costs such as auction fees, taxes, and potential repairs. Understand the terms. Familiarize yourself with the auction's terms and conditions, including payment methods, buyer's premiums, and any warranties or guarantees offered. Bid wisely. When bidding, stick to your budget and avoid getting caught up in the excitement of the moment. Start with a conservative bid and only increase it if necessary. I cannot stress staying with your budget. That is one of the most important lessons that I've learned being in the car industry, and you would be surprised by how people's competitive nature takes over when bidding on vehicles, and they go above what they actually wanted to spend just to beat another guy at the auction. Don't be that person. Know what you want to spend when you go in and stick to it, because your ego is your enemy, and let the guy win because he's getting a worse deal than you are. So winning the auction. If you're the highest bidder when the auction ends, you've won the car. Be prepared to pay for it according to the auction's terms and conditions. Payment and paperwork. Once you've won the auction, follow the auction house's procedures for payment. You may need to pay a deposit up front and settle the remaining balance within a specific time frame. Ensure you receive all necessary paperwork, including the title and the bill of sale. All right, so you won the car. What do you do with it? Well, you can arrange transportation, or you can actually just drive the vehicle yourself. So a lot of auctions will actually offer delivery services for a fee to take it to whatever location you want the car shipped to. That comes in handy, especially when you're buying multiple cars at once, because I don't know about you guys, I can only drive one vehicle at a time. Or another option besides paying the fee to have the auction deliver the vehicles to you, you could bring some employees with you or some friends and just pay them for the day to drive the cars back. Sometimes we do that, but a lot of times it's just cheaper to go with the auction. Remember that buying a car at auction carries risks, including purchasing a vehicle with hidden defects or liens. Take your time. Do thorough research and proceed cautiously to minimize these risks and ensure a successful purchase. So if you're an amateur with buying vehicles, I highly, highly, highly recommend buying cars on what's called a green light. So green light ensures that there's no major mechanical issues with the transmission, the engine, and the most costly parts of the vehicle. So if you're really risky, you can buy them on a non-green light and possibly get a better deal. But even with all of my experience and the experience of my partners in the industry, we still try to stick to green lights, because it's crazy what happens to some of these vehicles. and you don't want to spend 10 grand on a car to find out that you have to put 5 grand in for a blown engine. I've had it happen. It's not fun. I do not recommend it. Go with a green light, or if you're a better buyer than me, risk it and get the biscuit. So to give you some examples of the cars we typically purchase from auction. So every month we typically buy 3 to 5 vehicles to add to our fleet, either to grow the company or to replace vehicles that have been totaled or down out of commission while we're working on insurance claims. I like to stick around a $10,000 price point for our vehicles on Turo, which doesn't mean that's what the vehicle's worth. It's what we're paying for it. So I can usually source vehicles for around $10,000 that have an MSRP of around $15,000 to $17,000. So those are some significant savings to get vehicles at that price point. So we usually look for vehicles with cosmetic flaws. I'm talking about scuffs, bad odors, water damage. Those cars turn off a lot of people, and that's where we make our money. Similar with rental properties, if you think about it that way. Look for things where you see obvious rooms for improvement. If it smells like dog, it smells like money. So in the quality of our vehicles, I would say that around 80% of our vehicles don't have any issues once we rent them. Then there are the 20% that have some small problems that go wrong. And we've had some major problems, but the way we buy them, that usually doesn't happen. When I mean minor problems, I'm talking about the car might need an alignment that we didn't notice before buying it. The car might need new brakes and rotors. The vehicle may have an overheating issue or something that's usually cheap to fix. Radios are a very common one. I have bought so many vehicles that I've had to get new radios in, but thankfully it's usually pretty cheap, and I work with a great company that gives us a deal. And if you work with us at carrentalcoach.com, I can tell you all the people that you would need in your circle to help deal with any of these issues, because I have a big team from my experience doing this for so long, and I'd love to share that knowledge with you. And typically to see a return on our vehicles, I would say around 7 to 9 months is when we were at our break-even point, which is very good when you look at any other sort of investment or business. That's actually phenomenal. And we're making cash flow as soon as 2 days after purchasing the vehicle. Why 2 days? Because we want to get a tracker installed, get it insured, put it on the car wash, and get it pictured and listed on Turo. I have had ones that I've done in 1 day, but to be realistic, it usually takes me around 2, sometimes 3. Another question we always get is, when should I sell the vehicle? I say run them till the wheels fall off. Sure, there may be an optimal mileage and wear and tear point to sell the vehicle, but throughout my experience, it makes sense just to keep renting the car until something goes wrong or it gets totaled. Because when it gets totaled, you get a nice check too. But just keep renting it, don't worry about selling it. The only reason I would ever sell a car is if I was having a cash constraint problem or somebody offered me some amount that I couldn't resist. So if you are going to sell a car, a good time to do it is around tax time. When people get their refund checks from Uncle Sam, they typically buy cars and you can fetch a higher premium than you normally could at other times of the year. So if you are going to sell, I recommend at tax time. And if you're going to buy, I recommend not doing it at tax time. All right, another key to sourcing vehicles. One of my personal favorites and a platform that I grew up on, Craigslist. So buying on Craigslist can be very straightforward. Here are the steps. First, research. Begin by researching the type of car you want, including make, model, year, and any specific features or requirements you have. Determine a budget range based on the market value of the vehicle. Browse listings. Visit the Craigslist website for your local area and navigate to the cars and trucks section. Use filters and search options to narrow down listings based on your preferences. Inspect listings. Carefully read through the listings that match your criteria. Look for detailed descriptions, clear photos, and accurate information about the vehicle's condition, mileage, features, and history. Pay attention to any red flags such as missing information or unusually low prices. Contact sellers. Reach out to sellers of the vehicle you're interested in and ask questions. Request additional photos and schedule a time to view the car in person. Communicate via email, text, or phone call, and be wary of any sellers who refuse to provide contact information or insist on unusual payment methods. So when dealing with Craigslist, be careful. There are scammers on there, but there's a lot of good people too, just trying to sell their stuff. And that just comes with the territory of the internet that we live in today. So obviously just be cautious. If a guy tells you, send them Bitcoin for his car that you've never seen, red flag. Make sure you actually go see the vehicle in person and drive the vehicle. From being in the used car world my entire life, I still find it very concerning when people buy a vehicle and they don't even want to take it for a test drive. That's having a lot of faith in people. That's great if you feel that way, but always drive the vehicle and make sure that it's up to par and exactly as described. And even though I said to communicate through text, email, call, my number one thing I like to do is to speak to the person directly on a phone call. That gives me a good gauge on how professional the person is and if I can trust them. And it's actually funny how many times that I've come in with a lower bid than other people on Craigslist, but the seller, for whatever reason, likes me. I guess I'm a likable person sometimes. And they'll actually give it to me because they'd rather deal with me because I'm polite, I'm courteous, and I'm respectful of their time. They don't want somebody barking orders at them, and a lot of times they'll take a few $100s less to even a few $1,000s less if you show that you're a professional person and easy to deal with. Like I said before, arrange a meeting. Schedule a meeting with the seller in a public place, preferably during daylight hours. Consider bringing along a friend or family member for added safety. Insist on inspecting the car in person before making any decisions or payments. So when I say inspect the car, thoroughly inspect the car inside and out. Check for any signs of damage, wear and tear, rust, or mechanical issues. Test drive the vehicle to assess its performance and handling. If you're not knowledgeable about cars, considering hiring a mechanic to perform a pre-purchase inspection for an unbiased evaluation. So interestingly enough, selling used cars a lot of my life, I've noticed that when people go on test drives, even though it's not within our policy, they'll take them to a shop to get them looked at during their 15-minute test drive, and it's very obvious because they come back an hour after. And I don't really blame the people, because if I were to buy a vehicle, I would definitely want to put on a lift, especially in areas like ours, Pennsylvania, where we have a lot of snow and harsher weather environments, which causes frames of the vehicles to rot, and getting a new frame is not cheap. So if you can, put the thing up on a lift. I highly recommend that. You would be surprised and shocked by how many cars have holes in their frames. So if you're from the snow like us, that's a major issue, but even if you're in a warmer climate, still could have a bad frame. All right, so after you inspect the car, you want to negotiate the price. If you're satisfied with the condition of the car, negotiate the price with the seller based on its market value condition and any necessary repairs or maintenance. Be prepared to walk away if you can't agree on a fair price. So negotiation is key with anything in life, but also with that number you throw out, make sure you're respectful. I've had people purchase vehicles from us in the past that have wanted 40% to 50% off of what the car is even worth. And when somebody does that, I just laugh and I don't want to do business anymore. So put yourself in the seller's point of view and make sure you have an offer that's actually respectful and not laughable. I tend to do 15 to 20% off what they're asking as a rule of thumb. But if they're really pricing the car fairly, sometimes it's better not to negotiate and just take the deal. So take this negotiation case by case and evaluate each deal by themselves. So after you negotiate the price, finalize the sale. Once you've agreed on a price, complete the transaction securely. If paying in cash, meet the seller at a bank or another secure location to exchange payment for the title and any necessary paperwork. Alternatively, consider using a secure payment method such as a cashier's check or electronic transfer. Transfer ownership. Ensure that the seller provides you with a signed title and any other relevant documents needed to transfer ownership of the vehicle. Follow your state's regulations for registering and licensing the car in your name. Complete the transaction. Once the sale is finalized, obtain a bill of sale or written agreement documenting the terms of the transaction for your records. The third key to sourcing vehicles very cheap, utilize a used car dealership's trade-ins. What do I mean by that? Here are the several steps to ensure you get the best value for your trade. Here's how you can navigate this process effectively. Research your vehicle's value. Before approaching a used car dealership, research the current market value of your vehicle. Websites like Kelley Blue Book, Edmunds, and the NADA guides can provide estimates based on factors such as the make, model, year, mileage, condition, and local market trends. I know that one seems obvious, but it's surprising how many people go into a used car dealership not even knowing what the car is worth. Don't be that person, be prepared, and you'll profit. When looking at cars, one great thing to check is if it's clean both on the inside and out. If it's not, obviously just get the car detailed. Don't lose the purchase of a vehicle just because it's dirty. If a car is dirty, you can get it cleaned. That's not a major issue when sourcing vehicles. You could always save a few $1,000s for a detail that costs you a couple hundred. Also, make sure you address any minor issues such as scratches, dents, or mechanical problems that could affect its value. Gather documentation. Collect all relevant documentation for your vehicle, including the title, registration, maintenance records, and any service or repair receipts. Having a complete history of your vehicle's maintenance and repairs can increase its value during the trade-in appraisal. You want to make sure to visit multiple dealerships. Don't limit yourself just to one dealership. Visit several used car dealerships in your area to compare trade-in offers. Each dealer may provide a different appraisal based on their inventory needs, market demand, and appraisal criteria. So the interesting thing that fast food restaurants and car dealerships have in common, you'll find a bunch of them in the same area. That's due to traffic and demand. So when you're going to one used car dealership, the chances are there's 10 on the same street within 15 minutes. So when doing it, make sure to go to various locations, fill out the owner, look at reviews on the company's site, and take a look at their inventory, and don't be married to the first vehicle you see. It's gonna be a long day, possibly a long week, but when you do the due diligence now, you're going to profit more later. So be transparent. When you're doing a trade-in, be honest about your vehicle's condition when discussing it with the dealer. Concealing issues can backfire during the appraisal process and may lead to a lower trade-in value. Provide accurate information about any accidents, damage, or mechanical issues your car may have. So, transparency is key in business. Don't try to hustle somebody trading in your vehicle. We like to keep our business very clean, very honest. And I hate that I even had to say this in this video, but don't lie about the condition of your vehicle. Be honest, do good business, and good things will happen. And make sure to negotiate separately. When trading in your vehicle, negotiate the trade-in value separately from the purchase price of the new car. Dealerships may try to offset a higher trade-in value by inflating the price of the new vehicle. Keep these negotiations distinct to ensure you're getting a fair deal on both ends. A few more keys for you. Timing. Everything in life is timing. Let me explain. Timing. So timing can impact the value of your trade-in. Dealerships may offer better trade-in values during promotions, sales, events, or when they're trying to meet sales targets. Additionally, consider the time of year, as seasonal demand for certain types of vehicles can affect trade-in values. I do stress though, even though timing is important, the best time is to start today. So don't wait for some promotion 4 months from now, because what everybody forgets about is opportunity cost. How much did that, say, 10% savings on the vehicle that you waited 4 months to buy because of the seasonal demand and pricing really save you when you look at your opportunity cost of not having your car rented today? So if you're lucky and the stars align and you can source the vehicle because there's some promotion or some specialty thing going on, or it's the right time of year, take advantage of it. But don't sit around and wait for that opportunity to come. Get started today. Evaluate the offer. Once you receive trade-in offers from multiple dealerships, evaluate them carefully. Consider factors such as the offered price, the condition of the car you're interested in purchasing, and any additional incentives or perks offered by the dealership. Finalize the deal. Once you've chosen a dealership and accepted a trade-in offer, finalize the deal by signing the necessary paperwork. Ensure you understand all terms and conditions, including any fees, taxes, or deductions deducted from the trade-in value. Just one more recommendation for you on where to source vehicles: Facebook Marketplace. So Craigslist always has a special heart in my place since I used to sell things on there and source them since I've been 12 years old. But Facebook Marketplace is an awesome tool, and I suggest taking advantage of that. I'm not going to waste your time by going through the process of Facebook Marketplace. Just refer back to what I spoke about with Craigslist. Very, very similar platforms, just different companies. So use those same tips I gave you on the Craigslist to use Facebook Marketplace, and you'll be successful. They ask us here at Car Rental Coach, what if there's no good deals? It means you didn't look hard enough. Negotiate, keep looking, and don't give up. If it were easy, everybody would do it. Keep looking, and I guarantee you, there's a good deal out there waiting. Well, there you have it. This is our exact strategy and master guide on how to source vehicles. But if you're somebody that wants to get started a little faster and don't feel like doing all this work, I get it. This is a lot of work. It's what we do for a living. We love it, but not everybody wants to do this part. They just want to get the car, rent it out, and start making money today. Well, here at Car Rental Coach, we actually source the vehicles for our clients and ship to all 50 states. So if you want to get started and get on a fast track to rental car success, you can go to carrentalcoach.com, fill out our quick 60-second survey, apply to work with us. We can get on a call, and we'll actually source and ship out the vehicle to you. And people want to know, well, how does that work? How would we get the car for you? Well, we actually, in addition to owning the largest rental car fleet in Pittsburgh, own a used car dealership. And through our connections throughout Pittsburgh and other surrounding states, we're fortunate enough to have a great network and opportunities to purchase vehicles under market value every single day. We have access to auctions, trade-ins, other business partners we have that the general public doesn't have access to, but what the general public does have access to is Car Rental Coach. So if you are interested in one of these vehicles, what we do for you, we source the vehicle lower than you're gonna be able to get it yourself. We put it through a strenuous quality test, driving it vigorously for 7 to 10 days to make sure there's nothing wrong with that car. We have it looked at by professional mechanics. We get your Turo listing completely set up for you. We put trackers installed in the vehicle, because trust me, you're gonna need that tracker when somebody steals the car. And don't be scared about somebody stealing the car, because you're gonna make a lot of money when it happens. But if that's something that interests you and you want everything done for you completely and set up and getting started as soon as possible, go to carrentalcoach.com, fill out our quick 60-second survey, and we look forward to hearing from you. And if you want to know how we scaled our Turo business to over 6 figures in 2 years, click on this video right here. Thanks.